Joining me now is Tamara Alrifai, the Director of Strategic Communications at the United Nations Relief and Works Agency. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Rosemary.
So as we await the possible resumption of humanitarian aid deliveries, as set out in this new hostage deal, what is the current situation on the ground in Gaza?
It's a very, very, very dire situation, Rosemary. We heard through the report from Nada earlier what represents a lot of what we hear on the ground from people who lost their homes and who have been made displaced, often leaving their homes with just the clothes they had on their backs and living either in UNRWA shelters, so schools of the UN Agency for Palestine, refugees that turned into shelters, or with families or on the street with very little access to basic necessities such as food, clean drinking water, or medicine. Therefore, we as humanitarians await very, very eagerly that this humanitarian pause kicks in, while we actually call for a much longer arrangement through a ceasefire, because for us, this is what would truly allow our teams to go around the entire Gaza Strip and assist people in shelters. Right now, we have over 1 million people in our UNRWA shelters across the Strip.
Right, and as things stand, that will be a 4-day truce. It may get extended, we don't know. But once that 4-day truce goes into effect as part of that hostage deal, it has been delayed until Friday, what all would you expect could be achieved in that time to ensure that humanitarian aid supplies get to all those most in need at this time?
A couple of things. The most important is truly for a halt in the active war and the hostilities, meaning enough safety and security for UN teams to be able to go with trucks into the northern part of the Gaza Strip, which has seen the fiercest fighting and the largest damage. We will go there. We will check in on around 60 shelters that belong to the UN Agency for Palestine Refugees, but that we have not been able to access nor provide assistance in for now a few weeks. We need to be able to bring in sufficient amounts of food, clean water, medicine, and fuel to the different shelters, which also means we need many more trucks to come in through the Rafah crossing, but also other crossings when possible, because for now, we have been receiving on average 50 trucks per day, which falls way below the needs every day of over 1 million people in our shelters.
And what are the main supplies that you're hoping to see? And do you expect fuel to be included as suggested in that deal? Fuel, of course, so very important for hospitals in Gaza.
Fuel is at the center of any humanitarian operation. Fuel is crucial, as you said, for hospitals, for life-saving machines and incubators. It's also crucial to generate electricity from our own generators and into our shelters, so people are not completely in the dark after sunset. Fuel is also essential for our trucks. It's UNRWA trucks that go to the Rafah crossing every day to bring in everything that comes in from Egypt. So it's really our trucks going around. And fuel is also essential for water pumping and water desalination plants that give people clean water. We've already raised the alarm of a huge surge in gastric and skin diseases due to the lack of access of people to clean water. They're drinking contaminated water, leading to diarrhea and gastric diseases, and they're not able to wash themselves since we've been only giving them very limited quantities of water for drinking and domestic use because we haven't had any fuel. So most essential is to get fuel in, and we were promised that we will get daily amounts, although half the quantity we need. Food, medical supplies, and winter items such as jackets, warm clothes, blankets, mattresses are also extremely, extremely urgent now that the winter has kicked in.
Tamara Alrifai, thank you so much for joining us and for all the work that you do. Appreciate it.